Bechukosai. We're going to do some Rav Tzadok on Bechukosai. He brings from the Gemara Megillah that the Techacha in Bechukosai, Moshe Rabbeinu said from Hashem. And the Techacha in Kisavo, he said from his own point of view. Okay. Yep. Yep. So he said the first one is Bias Rishon. That's the Bechina of Torah Shebechsav, right? That's why he was from Hashem. And the second one is Bias Sheni Torah Shebapeh, which the Torah, right? And therefore, Kib Yachol, he said it from his own perspective. And he deals with a very simple question of why is Torah's Kohanim, in our parasha, what Lashon is the Tochacha? It's in a Lashon Rabin, right? And in Kisavo, it's in a Lashon Yachid. Interesting. Moshe Rabbeinu spoke Lashon Yachid. And Hashem, when he spoke Kibikilu, he spoke Lashon Rabin. So Tzadok explains like this. The Tochachas are not an onish. They're not meant to be a punishment. So now, quickly, if I'm going to be very fast, I just want to mention very fast the Ramad Vali. The Ramad Vali's way of explaining is that all of these inyanim, this is really no Zohar here, but all of these inyanim, of these klolis, right? So these klolis, really, there's two aspects to them. Number one is like things in avoda. This level where all of this has to do with avoda and Kabbalistic realities. Doesn't mean things are hard for people necessarily in such a horrible way. It just means that there are realities, this reality, that reality. You're devoted to this trap and that trap, messed up this way, messed up that way. He said, if Chas v'Shalom, where we really, Rahman al something this can happen, but that's not the idea. The idea is to deal with it and understand the avodah. We'll see it with Tzadok's Malach in a second, right? So he said, it's not an onish. The Torah doesn't say schar onish. That's what Maral says. We don't find schar onish in the Torah. Actually, the academics, I think, believe that originally Jewish people didn't think there was any schar onish. It was just sleep with your fathers and like whatever. They have this whole silly notion. Like again, this idea. It's very superficial. They don't believe in the Rambam. It's very superficial. They think that you can learn Torah Bechsav, and even though it makes no sense, it's not a book that can make sense. It was written. It has gaps that there's no way to fill. It's not at all a guidebook that makes any sense. They think that you're supposed to take it at face value.
How can you say it's a schar onish if there's a story in the Torah?
Okay, that's just because that's what the Maral explains. The Maral says. The
Maral
Maral explains. He says that when you keep the Torah, that's the Seder. Then things go well for the Jewish people. When not, the usual Seder is that they don't go well for the Jewish people. That's the Maral. And he's the same thing with Tzadok. Not that on the Habor this way, that way, Gan Eden. That's not Bechlal. I mean, it starts with Gan Eden. There's a reason, right? But like not in an explicit way. And again, you're supposed to do Torah L'Shem Shamayim. Supposed to go into Hashem. The schar comes, but that's not you're just doing for schar. It's something lacking in what you do. It's complete. Mitzad Echad. Mitzad Sheni, it's not 100%. But anyway, the Torah is not made. That's why we don't find anything about schar and about all these things. And another reason is because it's very complex. It's not so simple. You make it. It's like becomes very complex. We try to make it very simple. We want to make it simple. We want a simple thing. We don't want a complicated thing. So we want as simple as you can have. A 7-year-old who can read the Torah, and the next tomorrow says, and understand. And you have someone who's older, 70. He also has other levels to understand the Torah. Not like a 7-year-old, but it has to be understandable by a 7-year-old. And also, it's holding many other levels, as we spoke about before. So what that means is that it's holding many other levels, and to read it in a superficial manner is. It's just again, it's a pity to do that because it's obviously meant not to be read in a superficial level. If you think about it in any way, if you give it the credence of Shakespeare, if you give it the credence of the author, as if let's say at least it's written by maybe by God, but like even someone from that perspective, right? We know it's written by Shem. Like give it the credence of Shakespeare, then you're like this book doesn't really make sense at all. So again, you could find maybe a book for aesthetics. It's like supposed to be for deep people to meditate on. This book was from child to elderly. That's what the book's for. It's a guide of your life. Follow it. How am I supposed to follow it? Like I don't know what to do. You didn't tell me what to do. Slaughter like I commanded you. Where? Nowhere. Like in the whole Torah. What do you mean nowhere? All these different mitzvahs we can't possibly do without a clear. So you just can't. It's not something which is so simple without the Torah. And again, the Medrash says the Notzim, the Goyim, we're going to grab hold of the Torah and the Arabs also, the Islam also. We're going to grab hold of the of the written book, but they're not going to understand about the world. So Mela, they're going to be missing the main component, and that's the idea. Hide the main component. That's one reason why it wasn't written down. There are other reasons. But again, it's holding many things in this Torah. But the Zohar says anyone who thinks it's just what you see, what you get, is in the Torah, is a fool. Tepach ruche. What's he doing here? He needs him here. Chas v'shalom, people don't mean it, they don't understand. But he's completely what it means to say is he's way off. That's what he's talking about. And the Emek HaMelech brings and says, what do you mean? There are plenty of chronicles that it might be a nicer stories in the Torah. There might be a better moral direction on the face of it in the Torah. We can find lessons in Torah, Torah, very nice. But there's beautiful books out there. Why would you pick what's so holy about this one? And every pasuk, the most seemingly mundane pasuk you can't cut out, and it's Kodesh Kedoshim, and all the laws apply because it comes from again. Rav Chaim brings this one based on the Zohar, right? The Torah comes from a place that's above the world. It doesn't belong here at all. It's not something. There's no words for it. It's something really expressing very high realities. It's something from such a high source. That's the Indian. That's why it's holy. That's why it's not just there are other orders. Like we spoke about, right? You have these angels. They want the Torah. What are they going to get from the Torah? What do they get from the Torah? They want the Torah. So what are you going to get from it? So Moshe says, don't kill it. Can you do that? You honor your parents. But they just didn't know that. It's like the answer is, well, of course they knew that. But it doesn't matter. We were speaking about this, right? It doesn't matter. There is a level of the Torah that will relate to angels. There are many levels. Okay, so to take it at face value, it doesn't. It really is a silly hypothesis. It's silly because the book does not make sense as it is, and the only reason why people do that is because they start from the Notrus, which believe that they're whatever they think. They think ki'ilu nullified Torah Sheba'al Peh, and even all the mitzvah Torah Mela. They don't start to look into. They don't look into it with any thought about what these things are supposed to do. But if they did, it would be a little bit different. Then they start to say, this book doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make sense. There was even a priest that this one knew. I forgot who. I think a bishop who was like, only the rabbis understand what the Torah means, because the psukim, there are questions even on a simple, superficial level, like what's going on? Why did you use this language? Why did you use that language? And again, there are many levels, so deeper and deeper. So he says, it's not about onish. The Tochacha is to tell us how you bring siyata d'shmaya in Bechukosai telechu, right? Yeah, it brings siyata d'shmaya for this world. Chas v'shalom you don't want. You detest Hashem's chukim. It's not good. Right? Hashem will help us come to the proper way sometimes through punishment or through direction. That's the way it works. Since Hashem knows all the secrets, He gives Tochacha to everyone the way it's supposed to be. Exactly how it's supposed to be. Moshe Rabbeinu was an individual, so it came to when he gave the Tochacha, he gave it in Lashon Yochid. He's like, it will happen, but I don't know. Hashem is able to say everyone. And that's the way it goes. We have a Emunah in Hashgacha Pratis. Everything that happens is exactly the way it's supposed to happen. It's from Hashem, precisely calibrated. And that's our Emunah. It's the only way to really understand and to really connect to our deep intrinsic understanding and knowledge that people are of intrinsic value and worth to Hashem. What we do is important and it's valuable. I mean, we see that we're in this place. Hashem put there's one guy, some rabbi, whatever, not religious or anything, postulated, things happen chasson b'mikra, and that's why this happens. That's what happens. It might seem satisfying, but it makes the Rebbeinu Shalom seem very, it doesn't matter. Yes, and you leave it to chance. Why would you do that if you have the power not to? So either Hashem limits Hashem, which isn't true, or it makes Hashem's care limited, which is also untrue. So we don't understand Hashem, it's true, but nevertheless, that's the bottom line of things. So that's the end. So Mamela, that's the first thing that he says, number one. That's number one. And he said, you have to know that Moshe Rabbeinu loved Klal Yisrael. He certainly did not curse them, not b'shem Hashem, and not in his own way. Of course not. There's no curses here at all. He said, but every klala has within it included a bracha. Hidden in the klala is a bracha. Every klala includes a bracha in it. That's the idea. Right? And he brings different examples. How is every klal? He brings different examples how it is. L'maisa, every single klal that has within, you have to be able to look and search for bracha. And I'll tell a famous story from the Baal Tanya. You probably know the story, right? That one year they read the klal. His father passed away. The next year they read the klalas, and he started crying. He said, "My father read it. I understood. I saw how it's a bracha. Now he's not here anymore. I don't see the bracha, so of course I'm crying." This is the beginning of this understanding, realization that there are different levels and there are different things we have to ask. Again, you learn about Valley, you learn all this forum, and you start to understand that there is a deeper level here. And they give over what is it saying, what does it mean, the limits in the spiritual, bring it down, the spiritual bounty. When you do this, so that this happens, that happens, different things that can happen through a person who's making a mistake and erring. That's the bottom line of things. Yeah, Hashem is okay. That's basically the whole of the Rav Tzadok for this week. That's Hashem. And then part of it again, I believe, if I remember right, he says later on, he brings in the Rav Tzadok later, like Yisavo, he brings that because Matan Torah, Kabbalah Torah is a complete renewal, total re-beginning and redefining of the world and of every Jewish person. So Kabbalah Torah, Mela, you have the clothes to wipe it out. First, all the bad stuff, and then you're able to start again. That's why we do it also for Shana. He says not the week before, because the week before is what influences. The week before is what influences the Yom Tov. He said no, you can't have a stigma of klala then. The week before, then you. That's how he explained. Before 2 weeks before Shoshana, you have the clothes, and also 2 weeks before Shavuos. That's how he explains. And he brings from wasn't Mr. Sofrim. He brings from a Chazal that's the way it has to be, and then he explains it. That's how he explains it. Do you know how to work this? Do you mind showing it and turning on again? We'll do it nice and quickly. That's a shame.
Work it, but I think he pressed that.
Awesome.
No, that's not how it works yet.
No, shut this. I'm sorry. We're having a hard time. Without you.